Hey everyone, this is Kristin Coaching. Thank you so much for joining me today. And the purpose of this conversation and for this video is to talk about cheating and infidelity and discuss the reasons why people cheat in the first place. Most likely, if you're watching this video, it's because you have either been cheated on in your relationship, or whether it's currently or in the past, or you know someone who has. And we all, most of us, 99.9% of us, have usually been either a victim of being cheated on, or we have been the one who has cheated in a relationship. And I think the most important thing to remember is that you are not alone when it comes to infidelity. 33% of couples admit to having been unfaithful to their other half in their relationship. And that 33% are people who have admitted it. My personal view is that it's much higher than 33%. And out of that 33 of the people who admitted it, 22% of them have been men who have admitted to cheating on their spouse or significant other. 14% of women have admitted to cheating on their spouse or significant other as well. And then another interesting statistic of it is if you have cheated in the past or have a partner who's cheated in the past, you are 350% more likely to cheat again, or your partner is 350% more likely to cheat again if they have cheated in the past. So that's a huge, huge number. And why is that? I personally believe that if we don't take a look at our actions that we do, if we don't have that self-reflection and analysis of kind of figuring out why we do what we do, we're just going to keep repeating the same things over and over again. So I think it's so high because I think a lot of people don't want to learn and really figure out what happened and what went wrong and how to not make sure that happens again. And so it's really important to understand why people cheat in general so you can figure out what to do about that and how to move forward. So I think the first thing of reason why people go outside of the relationship is, I think the most common thing to kind of take a look at is people fall out of love. People do fall out of love with their significant other, and instead of having that honest dialogue and letting your partner know, like, hey, I'm just not feeling the same way that we used to. I'm not feeling that intense connection and that intimacy and that love that I used to. They tend to just stray and find somebody else and find love elsewhere. So falling out of love is one of the reasons why people cheat. The second one is sexual desires. Sometimes in relationships, your sexual needs are not being met for whatever reason, and people want to seek that sexual connection and intimacy elsewhere. And what's unfortunate is a lot of times people don't tell their significant other that they're not satisfied sexually and that they're not feeling it, sexually with them. And so instead of having that hard conversation, which it is a hard conversation to have, people tend to stray elsewhere and find that sexual desire in another partner. And that can be really, really hurtful for the relationship and impact it in a very negative way. Another reason why people cheat and why people are unfaithful is emotional neglect. When we or our partners feel like we're not appreciated and we're not valued and essentially we're neglected in a relationship, people can cheat. Your partner could cheat, you could cheat. When we don't feel that we're valued, that we are a partner with our other half, when we don't feel appreciated, we tend to stray and want to feel appreciated elsewhere and wherever we can really get it, essentially. And so it's something to really know that, especially a warning sign, that if you're not feeling valued and appreciated in your relationship and you're not feeling wanted, well, that is usually a precursor of infidelity. So that's something to really pay attention to, because I think a lot of individuals miss that piece and they start to feel a certain way, and then they meet somebody wherever setting it is, and then eventually before they know it, they could be straying and having an affair. And so it's just really important to know, like, hey, if you're feeling neglected, you have to do something about it now before it gets out of control, and before you essentially cheat, or your spouse cheats, or your partner cheats. Another reason why people stray in a relationship is low self-esteem. And this is kind of like a a big hidden reason that not a lot of people realize. But if you or your other half are really down about themselves, if they don't feel attractive, if you don't feel attractive or pretty or attractive essentially, and you're just feeling like really low self-worth and low self-esteem and just not feeling good about yourself, well, a lot of times infidelity happens because it makes you feel better. Sex and orgasms and pleasurable feelings are powerful, and they feel good, and they intend to increase your self-esteem in that moment. And a lot of people stray to make themselves feel better about themselves, and they want as much love as possible, so they seek elsewhere, feeling that they can get that type of a connection. I hate to tell you, but infidelity and cheating does not increase self-esteem by any means. It might, in that moment, you might feel good, but long term, it really doesn't do anything. But if your partner or yourself are very, very insecure with how you feel and really negative, well, a lot of times if other people are showing them attention or showing you attention, can feel really, really good. And before you know it, you can be, or your partner can be straying because you're feeling that increase of your self-worth and self-esteem. So something to really pay attention to. And then the last reason, and there are other reasons, but I don't have time to go through all of them, but the last reason why people cheat is out of revenge. It's out of anger. All too many times, if you are having an argument with your significant other and it's really, really intense, and you're mad and you're yelling and you're disrespecting each other, and one person leaves the house and in a huff and a puff, a lot of times if you're hurt or if they're hurt, cheating happens because your partner wants you to feel as bad as they feel, or you want your partner to feel as bad as you feel. And revenge is really a common thing where people will just cheat and stray because they're not thinking long term. They're just thinking, how can I get back at my significant other? How can I make him feel sad and bad because I'm feeling really shitty right now? And a lot of times infidelity happens as a result of that. So where do we go from here? Infidelities happen. You've been cheated on, or you have been the one who has strayed. What do you do? Well, the next step is to rebuild trust in your relationship. So please, please watch my other video on how to rebuild trust in a relationship, especially after infidelity has happened, because it is possible. A lot of couples do stay together once cheating happens, but both people are going to need to want it, and both people need to make an effort to do that. And there are a lot of steps that go with the rebuilding of a relationship, but it is possible if you want it bad enough and you have solid foundations in your relationship to be able to do that. So watch my other video about how to rebuild trust, and you'll get some tips on where to move forward once infidelity happens. So hopefully I've touched some topics and some examples that have been important for you. And if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to comment below, and I'll be happy to get back to you about that. And please subscribe to my YouTube page so you can see more videos related to relationships, and specifically how to have happy and healthy relationships. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.